Hi Flosstube, it's Angie and I'm back for video number 3. This is my channel about cross-stitching. Cross-stitching and maybe some other things in the future. This video is going to be a little bit quick because it's mainly just going to be a Maynia update. I wanted to share my progress, and I think that's about it. I did want to say really quick how completely, what is the word? I'm thinking in my head flabbergasted, but I'm not sure if that's quite the right word for what I'm thinking, but blown away, I guess, is another way of saying it, how quickly I've gained subscribers. I really wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting much at all because I don't know, I just wasn't. But I've been pleasantly surprised. I've received a lot of comments, which I've really enjoyed, and I've had a great time going back and answering them. So if you have a comment or a question, I would absolutely love to hear it and answer it. I did have somebody asking me about a figure behind my lamp, and I was just gonna, it's a little demigorgon that was hiding behind my lamp. Funny story, I actually ordered the one that was open, and I didn't read the description when I ordered this. It was a birthday present because I couldn't go out for my birthday, and so I bought myself some presents, and one of them was this, thinking it was going to be the open demigorgon, and unfortunately I didn't read the description where it said open or closed. It's a surprise, and I got the closed, and he's not as cute. So unfortunately my search for an open-mouthed demigorgon is still going, and he doesn't sit on his stand well, so he falls over a lot. That was what was hiding behind my lamp, and I think I answered her, but I also said that back there, I'm pointing to it right now, is Harlequin. I couldn't remember his name, but his name is Harlequin from Nightmare Before Christmas. All right, so just a gigantic thank you for everybody who is watching my videos, everybody who's commented, everybody who's subscribed. I'm very grateful, I'm excited, and I hope that you continue to watch and enjoy. So I guess I will continue on the way I'm going, and we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go ahead and start my update for Stitch Maynia. Okay, so Stitch Maynia updates. If you watched my last video, you will know that my Stitch Maynia plans were to work on the various cross-stitch Christmas gifts that I have for family. And I have a few of them that I'm working on, and that was going to be the main focus with a new start each weekend if I made significant progress on the gifts, which I have. So without further ado, let me show you. So if you'll remember, gift number 1, this is what my focus of last week was, the Spock pillow sampler. This was my main focus of last week, and I worked on Spock like he was going out of style. And this is where I'm at now. I wish I could show you a better shot from last week, but last week I had most of this done down to this ship and the word live, or I don't even know if I had the whole word live. I did not have all the little lines that connected all of the little doodads, gears. I call them stars. They're not stars. We'll pretend they're stars. But the main thing was getting all the back stitching in, because I'm trying to get that done ahead of time. There's still some back stitching in the saucers of each of the ships. But the big problem came, I was doing the words here, and then I was going to finish the body coming up. But I discovered when I started stitching the body that, unfortunately, the hand here up into the neck and the body were all half a stitch off. So I started stitching the body up with adding that extra half stitch in, thinking I could ignore it. I couldn't ignore it. It was staring me in the face. Nobody would have noticed. I would have noticed. It would have bothered me. So I frogged all of that. Frogged it all and then restitched it. Thankfully, I had plenty of episodes of Destination Truth and Flosstube to keep me busy, to keep me entertained so I wouldn't scream and yell. But I did end up getting all of it restitched and all the way over here into the other side of his shirt. So he's just got a little bit of an arm left and a little bit of body left down here, and his whole person is done. Now I measured all of this off of his original hand. So all of these are now a half a stitch off from these, but these don't connect to him, whereas the body did. So as long as he is correct, and I just keep going by counting everything off of what's on the border, all of this will line up just fine. Nobody will notice but me. Nobody will care. You probably won't even care. But this is where I'm at. Pattern Keeper says I'm about 40% done. And all of this kind of stuff, that's fast stitching. So once he is done and the words here and the words here are done, this thing is gonna sail. So not too shabby. I got quite a bit of progress done on him last week, and I am happy with that. So when I filmed the last video, it was, I want to say it was Thursday or Friday. So I'd only worked on Spock for a couple of days, felt like I'd done a decent amount of work, and gave myself permission for my first new start, which, if you will remember, is my long dog sampler, Pavane, for these times. I think it's for these times. I keep saying for our time because I swear that's what it was called. It's Pavane. We're just gonna call it Pavane. So if you'll remember, it's this one. So excited to start this, and it did not disappoint. Isn't this amazing? Oh, I had so much fun stitching. Can you tell? I did not want to stop. I spent all of Mother's Day on this baby. My kids made me breakfast in bed, and then I told them, it's Mother's Day. I'm not getting out of bed. This is what I'm doing. And we watched movies. They were all welcome to come in, but the lights stayed on and I stitched as we watched. We watched all 3 Back to the Future movies and Inception, because my oldest daughter wanted to see Inception. And we just, movies after movie after movie while I stitched. And oh, I'm sorry, but isn't this gorgeous? I'm not saying it because I stitched it that it's gorgeous. I'm saying because the pattern is gorgeous, and I'm really proud of my color choice. This was so much fun. Working the variegations, I've been trying to make it so that they kind of mirror, so that, I mean, you'll notice it's very red here and then it gets darker here and here. It doesn't always mirror perfectly. Obviously this is a lot lighter than this one. And what I'd really wanted is I'd wanted this to kind of go from dark to light, but without starting a whole bunch of other threads. I was finding that was going to be really difficult. And that's okay. It doesn't have to mirror perfectly. That's the beauty of it. But I'm trying to plan where they go, but I'm trying to do it. I'm not trying to be really anal about it, because I don't want this to become a chore where it's, oh, okay, a lot more thinking than stitching. So I'm just trying to go with the feel of it, I guess. And so far, it's going great. And I'm so sad. I promised myself that I would only work on my new starts on the weekend, but I'm afraid I might take away one of my starts so that I can work some more on that. But I'm sure that when I start my other one this weekend, I'm sure that I will love it just as much. And you'll see why when I show you. So that was start number 1. Gift number 2, if you will remember, let's bake. Now, I bought this hard pattern, paper pattern, off of 123 Stitch. And it was reasonably priced, it looked cute, and I waited forever for this to come. I did not know you can get these PDF. So somebody else had a pattern similar to this, and they said, oh, this is by Ursula Michaels or Ursula Michael. And I thought that was by Imaginating. So I looked it up. Ursula Michael is the designer, and I just Googled her, and it took me to a website where you can get all of these patterns as PDF versions. So if you do not want a hard copy, which I'm finding is not the seam in the middle, because the pattern goes on both pages, and the seam in the middle has made it so that it's really difficult to read some of the keys. I ended up photocopying it so that I could kind of write on it and fix it up. I mean, it's fine. I don't mind it hard copy, but I probably would have preferred PDF over this. But anyway, I started this on Monday, and this is where I've gotten to. I love this. I loved it the moment I started the word sprinkles, mainly because it just pops. Now, this pattern is almost 100% back stitching or fractional stitching. There are very few full cross stitches. There's a couple in here. Believe it or not, most of the G is fractional stitches, and not, I think you've got like a full here, maybe 5 or 6 on the long stem of the G. Same with timer and these other words. Almost all of them are fractional stitches. If I had realized that before I started, I would have chosen a linen rather than an Aida, because fractional stitches on linen is so much easier, and your stitches will be a lot more even than mine are on this. My fingers are a little bit sore from trying to stab through the fabric. I did not realize, I didn't think ahead or look ahead enough to see how much of this is going to be quarter stitches, which is a majority of all the big letters. And the rest of it is plain and simple back stitching. But I love the way it looks. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm very excited about this. So I have changed a few of the colors. I mean, all of the colors that are on here are called for, except I added a dark gray, and then I changed where some of the colors were. So in the giant mixer, it's only light gray, dark red, and lighter red. I added a darker gray in some of these words to add a little bit more contrast between the lighter and the darker gray. I also thought it would be nice to break up all the red, because this is the only gray right here in the entire mixer. And I felt like that's too much red. So I'm adding some yellow, because there's yellow in the bowl. And then the handle, the handle in the bowl is charted red, and I think that looks a little funny, so I'm just gonna change it to black and gray as well. So those are the only changes I made, and it's, you know, do what you're gonna do, but I'm really happy with the progress on this. Because I have been making so much progress on those two, I decided that instead of waiting until next week to start my other gifts, I would go ahead and just start another one this week. I feel like Let's Bake is so much fun. It's I want to say it's almost mindless. It's really, really easy to get lost in while I'm watching TV, and surprisingly, really easy to count. I'm not finding myself getting lost at all. So it's going really fast. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and start my Harry Potter pillow sampler. And just to remind you what it is supposed to look like. So here is what Harry Potter pillow sampler looks like. And here's where I started this morning, so not bad. This is the top left. It's my first time, well, not my first time, but not my first time by choice. My Middle Earth that I'm stitching, I stitched starting the top left, but that's because the pattern called for me to do that. Normally they call for a middle start, and I didn't want to start this in the middle. I wanted to start it in the top left, so I did. And so this is going really well. I need to get a grime guard for this puppy so that I don't mess up all the fabric. But this has been going well. It is almost the same colors as my giant Harry Potter, but the symbols are different. So instead of looking at the symbols, I have to look at the symbol and then look at the number and then find that number on my, because I'm just using the same floss keepers that for my giant Harry Potter for this one, because the colors are all the same. It's just the symbols are different. So I have to pay extra close attention. And then the other difference is instead of using treasure braid, I'm just using the Krynic. It's not even Krynic, it's that DMC stuff, because I had to buy some for something. And as long as I keep the lengths really short, it's not being too bad. It's not my favorite. But I'm trying to use it up because I don't want to waste the money I spent on it. So those are the 3 gifts I'm working on. I will probably start another Star Trek pillow for my husband. I might start that this month. I might not. I might not even make that for him this year just because craziness. But I feel like I've done a fantastic job on my gifts this week, which absolutely entitles me to a new start this weekend. But let me show you what came in the mail. So I've just been waiting on the fabric because if you will remember, I was going to start a Mira this weekend and I couldn't decide between my Stargazer or my Roses of Provence. I have decided I am totally starting Stargazer this weekend, and let me show you why. Because this came. This absolutely stunning piece of fabric. So when I was looking at pictures of Stargazer online, somebody had stitched her on a piece just like this. And this is very, very dark blue and light blue with a little bit of purple. The one that I'd seen was a little bit more purpley than this. I don't care. This is gorgeous, and this is going to be gorgeous right on top of that. It gives me the feeling that this woman is just sending her wishes and her hopes and her desires into space, into the expanse. That's what it feels like with this fabric. So this is getting started this weekend. I'm so excited. I just can't not start it with this gorgeous, gorgeous fabric that came. And just so you know, let me find my sticker. There's always a sticker on here. Except there's the sticker. This is 32 count Gothic Belfast linen from Picture This Plus. And I just ordered this off 123 Stitch. And then, because I wasn't sure, I was worried that this would come and it would be either too splotchy or it just wouldn't be the right feel. So I ordered this one as well. And this one is 32 count Nocturne Belfast linen from Picture This Plus. And do not get me wrong, this is gorgeous. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? And while I think this would look pretty on this fabric as well, I feel like the colors in her dress would blend too much into this. And that is why she's going darker. So now I do not have a use for this fabric yet. But I also ordered, because I had mentioned that I was thinking of doing another long dog in ecru. And if I can find one that fits this size of fabric, I got all this ecru. And I think that would just be lovely. So this might become a future long dog. So that is the last thing I'm expecting in the mail for a while, just because we are moving and preparations are now in order. My plans for Maynia are still going to be stitch as much as I can on the gifts during the week, and on the weekends start something new. However, now that I know for sure that the move is happening and it's happening soon, I may not start all the starts. I'm going to start the Mira just because I really want to. I really want to. But I may just leave it at these two and work on these on the weekends. These two will probably end up traveling with me while everything else gets packed into the mover's truck. I don't know. I'll make that decision. I might want something. I might not stitch at all I don't know. So that is it. That is what I have for you this week. That is my Stitch Mania update. I hope to have some more videos soon for you, and like I said, I think I'm going to try posting about once a week. Right now that sounds reasonable, doable. We'll see what happens. Everything can change, but I am really grateful for everybody who has commented, liked, and subscribed. I'm grateful for the people who've watched. I hope that you will come back and watch again. I'm excited to see your comments, and I think that's it. So thank you for coming back. Thank you if you're brand new seeing me for the first time. I'm glad you made it to the end. So thank you for that. And I will talk to you later. So have a good day or night, depending on what time you're watching this. And see you later.